The next one, using national funds for your own health care. You divert money from education and stuff, possibly military, whatever, so that you can build some silly machine that'll keep you alive for 2 more months. And why not? Well, here's why not. That's not your money. First of all, I object that the government took the money by force. Second, I object that you think that it's therefore money to be used. It's not. It shouldn't have been taken by force to begin with. So that's where the violation of rights begins in that. So Mr. RodHullOnceWasHim's would do very well to look a little closer into the idea of selfishness and into the idea of rights. Individual rights consist of a person doing what they want without hurting others. The reductio ad absurdum of my argument here, that a selfish person shouldn't want to hurt others, is that a robber comes into your house with a gun and says I'm going to kill you and your wife and children. And he turns around and starts walking out of the room to go find the wife and children, and what do? Do I hit him on the head and try to kill him? Yeah, I try to do something. I grab something and try to attack him, because it's him or me. Now that's not my choice, that's his choice. He walked into my house with a gun. It's him or me. So that's a very different case. That is a case where you're morally obligated to violate that robber in order to preserve your own life and liberty. And the last one's ridiculous, burning your money, because why would you let anyone else be benefited? Now in the case of stealing national funds for your own health care, you could possibly stretch that, because what is it, stealing funds that have been stolen in order to put them to some sort of good use, whereas otherwise they would be put to bad use. For example, if you were to steal funds from the United States government, 25% of those funds go to education. And our education system is just terrible. So the more money you're able to divert from the education system, even if you just divert it into Tootsie Rolls and chocolates, anything you can divert from the education system is a benefit to everybody in the nation. So that's a more complex issue, but it starts off with the issue that that money's been confiscated. So Mr. RodHullOnceWasHim. Selfishness does not hurt other people. Now it goes deeper than just analyzing whether or not it would help me. It actually goes into psychology. Psychologically, if you violate somebody else, you rob a bank, let's say, and you live your entire life and you die and no one ever catches you. Psychologically, you didn't get away with it. And materially, you didn't get away with it. You weren't able to use those funds freely as you chose. You had to hide, and your entire life you were wondering whether they were going to come and get you. Every single day it was hanging over your head if someone was going to catch you. Now, that's not necessarily true back in the Dark Ages, when you could just go maraud a local village. No one came after you later on. But the whole countryside was that much poorer. And if you think, well, I got on a boat and I went across the water and marauded a village and then brought the stuff back to my, like the Vikings did. The entire world is where we live. We don't just live on this side of the water and then over there is that side of the water. Globalization attests to that. So the richer someone is, the better off we are if we trade with them. If we rob them and destroy the person who's created all that wealth, then it's like taking all the cars from a factory and burning the factory down and saying, look at all these cars I have. Brilliant. You burned the factory down. Now where do you think your new cars are going to come from in the future? So I guess a bigger, longer, ultimate point to this would be that a selfish person has to do a little bit more to benefit themselves than just hit the nearest person in the head. They got to think a little harder about that. If the goal is for them to be happy and enjoy their life, you've got to put a little more thought into it to enjoy your life than just say, there's a rich guy, I'm going to go kill him. And Ayn Rand says, your mind is affected when you violate other people, violate their rights by an initiation of force or fraud. Number 2, the millionaire thing. It's too ridiculous. Even if we could get an answer to it, it wouldn't give us anything to use in reality. And therefore it's irrelevant. It's like asking how many angels dance on the head of a pin and how many gremlins there are living on the far side of the moon. There's no answer to it, and it's not useful. And burning your money. Doesn't that just say it all? To burn your money so other people can't benefit. Doesn't that just lay bare everything that is misunderstood about selfishness? Selfish person doesn't even have to help themselves as long as they hurt others. Ridiculous.